Warning, this content is for entertainment and educational purposes only. What's up, dudes?
What's up? What's going on, guys?
Nothing much. I figured we'd talk about the Olympia tonight, give our Olympia predictions. I'm headed out there next week. I'm excited to see everything. I'm only going to prejudging, though, man. The finals tickets were crazy expensive, man. I think all the scalpers bought them up beforehand, and I could the nosebleed tickets were like $1,000.
Holy shit!
Yeah, I was gonna stay out a couple extra days, and then I saw the prices on those, like StubHub or whatever people are reselling wherever they are. It's like $800-900, and it's sitting in the very top of the building. So
that's crazy. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, there's a nightclub there that's having an Olympia party where they're going to live stream it, and you just pay the cover charge. So I'm going to be hanging out in there with my margarita, watching the finals from there, and chilling out.
I'll be back home in Kentucky by then, so I'll just get it on the TV here at home and stream it. I'd rather sit on my couch anyways.
Definitely.
Yeah. I've been there 22. I went and watched it live when I was in the Amateur Olympia that year, and it was a cool experience. But my only problem is it took so long to get to men's open bodybuilding. You go through, like, the fitness girls, they were on there, it seemed like, for 2 hours. Wow. You know, and then I think prejudging and finals was getting over with like 1 o'clock in the morning or later. That was in 22.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I know people. That's got to be tough on the competitors, man. I don't know how you hold condition that long.
That's what they were complaining about. That's what they complained everyone couldn't bring their best because they were backstage for 6-7 hours, you know.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that too.
It's going to do that to anybody.
Well, you know, you're most watery at the end of the day, man. It's like that's when you look your worst.
Yeah,
like right before you go to bed. I mean, I guess enough diuretics, anything's possible. I don't know. I would probably just take a nap, go to sleep.
It's hard to do that, though. Tom can do it well. I saw him doing it backstage. He can sleep pretty good. He was out, man. I was like, damn.
I'm too amped up, man. I'd go back to my room and say, call me when we got an hour to go, something like that. I don't know, man. But yeah, that's got to suck for the competitors, man. Doing it that late. What they should do is split it up, like, you know, have like the women in the morning and then the dudes at night or something.
I think their only complaint to that is no one will show up at one if the men are at night, which who cares? I mean, you're still going to sell the same amount of tickets regardless, but I think they want a crowd there for the other divisions as well. And, you know, the men's open and classic are why the majority of the people are going to be there, you know, but all the other divisions wouldn't have anybody in there watching. So I kind of get that in a way, but still.
Yeah, I get it, but I don't know. It would probably logistically, it would be kinder to the athletes. When I was at the Arnold, man, everything moved great at the Arnold. It was super, super efficient. They got everybody through nice and quick. And it was perfect. I think it took, of course, they didn't have all the divisions. I think it was just, there were 3 female divisions and 3 men divisions. I know there were a lot of the women that were upset about that, but I don't know. They didn't have women's bodybuilding. I didn't have
physique, right?
No, they didn't have women's physique.
212 bodybuilding is gone too.
Yeah, so it was just classic physique, classic physique, men's physique, and bodybuilding for the guys.
Are you guys going to the Arnold next Arnold next year?
Yeah, I plan on it. I'm going to go. Man, you should go, man.
I'm going to go. I've just got my friend's going. He sent me some info on booking a room and stuff, so I think I'm going to go to it. I mean, it's going to be a good show. Their first prize is going to be $500,000, so you know it's going to bring a lot of the good. I don't go really too much for the expo. The experience. I've been to the men's finals show, and it's just, I mean, I love being in that atmosphere.
Yeah, it's fun. And the tickets were reasonable last year. I think I got I don't remember. I sat up front, man. It was like pretty damn close to the front. I was only, I don't know, 30 rows back. And it was for both finals and prejudging and the expo tickets, it was like 300-400 bucks, something like that.
Yeah.
That's not
It
crazy.
wasn't, yeah, it wasn't crazy. And they do the free live stream and everything. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, it should, with the big prize money this year, it should be really great lineup.
Are you doing a booth at the expo at the Arnold, or
Nah, they're expensive, man.
really?
It's
That's
more.
where they get their money back, right?
Yeah, yeah, they make it up there. I'll just walk around and just chill out. There's also some other cool crap that goes on at the Arnold. Like last year, I was watching the dudes doing the medieval fighting. That was some crazy shit.
That would be cool. Yeah, they've had a lot of stuff.
Yeah, they have all kinds of weird stuff. Powerlifting. I saw Julius Maddox and doing the crazy 760-pound bench press. I think it was that dude.
Yeah.
That dude's nuts. 700.
He's Kentucky guy too.
Yeah, big dude, man. Him and then Hunter Henderson. They were all at the animal booth. The animal booth. They were having people do just sort of feats of strength all weekend. And Hunter, I don't know if you're familiar with her. She's a women's physique competitor, but she was repping out 640 or something on squats. Did banged out a couple reps on it. Yeah, I was like, holy crap! Never
Nice.
seen a woman do that much before.
Yeah, especially a woman that looks like her too.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah, she was crazy. So who do you guys have winning the Olympia?
Derek.
Derek, yeah, I don't. It's either going to be him or Hadi, I think.
You don't. You mean give you
think
my top five?
Stanley- I don't
Yeah,
know,
let's
man.
hear your top five.
I'm gonna go Derek, Hadi, Nick, Samson, Andrew. Reason being, I think Nick is going to bring something different. I think his waist is going to be much better because he's working on it all the time now. You actually can change it if you work on it. And I think his conditioning is going to expose Samson and Andrew, even though aesthetically they're more pleasing. It's just, I feel like he's going to be peeled to the bone right there with Hadi. And I just think like that conditioning will overpower him. And if he can break just a little bit smaller waist and have a little bit better control, that'd be, I think, top five.
Yeah, I definitely see him top five.
That's exactly how I have it. But the next three, I think could really go in any order. It just depends on how they come in. Like Nick is usually always in shape, man. That's the thing with him. He seems to be Mr. Consistency.
Yeah.
Makes the most out of the least amount of genetics. I don't know that he has, unless somebody's seriously off, he has the genetics to be first. But you never know. I mean, Dexter Jackson won that 1 year because everybody was off, and he's consistent. If you're consistent and you're always in shape, you never know.
Who do you have 6 through 10?
Sixth, I have no idea. I'd like to see Martin. I don't know. I mean, I think he's probably still too small. I think he probably needs to put on another 10 or 15 pounds to hang with those guys, but I really like the way he's structured.
Yeah, I think he looks really good how he's looked too.
He's got a clean physique, man. His top to bottom. He's not missing any body parts.
No,
his conditioning will be better this time too. I watched a podcast with him. They're sucking him down really hard too. So I'm with you on that. I think either him. I think if Hunter can get his midsection in a better spot than it was in France, it'll be those two fighting for that sixth spot, and possibly Rafael Randall. I think he's going to shock some people too. A couple of his updates look really good, and he's not missing any parts, and he's got that aesthetic, good flow, clean looking physique on him too.
Yeah, he does. Oh God, what's his name? A black guy. God, it's escaping me. Is he? God, I can't remember his name now. The guy from over in Europe. The guy's been top 5 before. Won the Arnolds. His name's escaping me. No, not Samson.
You described Samson in that.
You talking about Bonac?
Bonac, yeah. Is Bonac a meeting this year?
Yeah, he's in.
Oh man, we lost Brandon.
I guess so.
Yeah, Martin's in here. Raphael looks good.
What about John Jewett, man? He's coming up from
Oh, we always
212.
forget about Brandon Curry. And
Yeah,
Brandon Curry is always
he's a Mr.
up
Olympia.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what
yeah,
I'm saying.
that's
Like that
another.
6 through 10 is crazy. I don't know. I really like the lineup in general this year. It's just really good all around. I'm excited to see Andrew Jack come in like 100% because I don't think he ever has before.
No, I don't think he has. There's something a little weird about his physique to me.
Mm,
Like I don't know. He's just like there's this. It's just an eye test thing.
yeah,
I don't know. I'm a tall guy. I should like the way he looks.
yeah, I like his look.
Um,
I like
all right, here's
Samson's better.
Brandon.
But
All
Kick
right, we
me
lost.
off.
you get
I think you
Yeah.
kicked yourself off.
it.
Yeah, it was Bonac who I was thinking about. I always forget about Bonac and Brandon Curry too. I mean, Brandon's
Yeah.
another wild card. I don't know if his legs are always seem to be a little bit behind
He's
his upper
been
body.
very
And
quiet too.
Mm,
yeah, and he's on the wrong side of 40.
Yeah.
Your microphone, I think, is your phone sitting on something? I think it can barely hear you.
Me?
Yeah,
I had to.
I'll take those out. Maybe that's the issue. Tonio Burton, I don't know if he can crack the top 10 or not. We'll see.
So he came up from 212 too, didn't he?
I don't know if he was a 212 guy before or not.
He's another one. He like the separation on him is just crazy. He has a cool. I like his look too.
I think I saw John say if he could be top 12, he'd be happy with that, or top 10, he'd be happy with that.
John
That
Jewett,
would be
yeah,
a, yeah, that would be a win for him.
I like him, man. He's a really smart guy.
Yeah,
He's like
John, and
really
John's
different.
super nice too.
Is
I
he?
hung out with him at the Arnold. Just one of
Oh,
the
cool.
nicest guys
Yeah,
you'd
I
ever want
like
to
to meet
meet.
him.
Yeah, John. Yeah, I talked to John. I should see if he wants to come on sometime. He'd probably come on with us after the Olympia.
That'd be cool.
I
I'd
think
probably
he had the
fanboy a
most
little bit.
impressive offseason of anyone.
Yeah, I mean, he put on some crazy amount of
Yeah,
size.
he did.
Yeah. He stayed lean too. I mean, his glutes are filled his entire offseason. He's kept growing.
Yeah, I followed him for a couple of years now. He seems to always be, in shape. Like he's really smart. He knows what he's doing.
He
Yeah,
just wasn't blessed with the best shape. But man, like he's got some crazy body parts. Like his adductors go below his knee, I think.
Really,
Yeah, they're crazy,
that
man.
is
Just how
crazy.
big
I never
his
paid attention to that.
Have you ever seen him in person?
No, Paul, how tall is he?
Yeah, he's like 5'6", 5'7".
Okay.
But his I don't know. If he's listening to me, I might be insulting him. I don't know, but he's short to me. He's got
Everybody's short.
yeah, that's true. He has got some of the biggest legs I've ever seen on a human being. His legs are fucking ridiculous when you see him,
Really?
especially his hamstrings. Hamstrings and adductors are insane.
I mean, just from photos I can tell, but yeah, I guess in person it's probably insane.
Yeah, there's something weird with Hunter with his physique now. I don't know what.
He
Like
put
I
on
saw him.
size.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he's gotten too big. You know, there's that point where some guys just get too big.
This is what I see. His arms are enormous. It's awesome. But I think they're so big, they make his kind of like upper body, his torso look smaller. His front double bi like looks crazy, but it's because his arms are enormous.
Yeah, and I noticed he really, what was the show he just won? But it looked like he had really improved his posing. His posing was a lot better, and he was doing a better job of controlling his waist and hiding his waist in the recent show that he did. Here's some. I'll pull up some pictures of him, but I
it
thought
was the Italy show, right?
yeah, it was the Italy show. But you can see he did a way better, like controlling his waist.
Yeah.
It's
It's
so
tight.
hard on those side relaxed poses, man. Let me go back here. Sorry. Yeah, you can see
Hmm.
way better job on this stuff.
Yeah. He looks good.
Yeah,
he
his
does.
conditioning from behind maybe could have been a little better at the show, but I mean, whatever, right?
Yeah, that's a good shot. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good shot.
Mhm.
He did a way better job of controlling his waist.
I think some of those pictures they were putting up of those guys from that show made them all look bad at some point because the iPhone pictures were showing up a lot better. But it's almost like if he can get that lower abdominal to come in and
Yeah,
some
I
of
see you
those
guys are
poses
talking.
like
Yeah.
that, his ab and thigh and his front double, then he's good to go, man.
What looks like the lighting there sucks.
Yeah, it does.
That's what it looks like to me. But I mean, he did a way better job of with his posing this year. See how he hides his waist on the corner turns?
Mm-hmm.
Or I mean, on
So
the
do I.
turns, and keeps his hands in front of the waist. That's pretty slick. Did he tear his pack or something at some point?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see it.
Oh yeah, I see what you're talking about.
Now's the time you let the gut out. That's when you let it out.
Yeah.
That's when you can breathe. You gotta hold your breath until
Look at
then.
those calves he's got on him too, man. Those are insane.
Yeah. Here's some.
Yeah, look how big his arms are, dude. They're bigger
Yeah,
than his waist.
they're ridiculous. They're bigger than his head.
This is bananas.
I've heard he's a super nice guy too.
Yeah.
He is. I've competed against him in 2018 Nationals, and every time we cross paths, he always speak, say hi, hello, whatnot.
I mean, his dad's a super chill guy too. Man,
I haven't met him.
that is
I met
crazy.
with
Man.
I met Brian Troy, and him and I trained together. And I was kind of on like the other side of that whole thing, so I don't know. I don't really know him.
There's some pictures up of
That was his old coach, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Derek, man, at him training recently. Like his back.
He has, in my opinion, the best back in bodybuilding. It's insane.
Look at how dense his back is.
Yeah.
That's some of that new tech equipment right there. That's his own personal gym now. I think he's got all the new tech stuff
Yeah.
brought in there. I want to try that piece out so bad.
Mm.
Yeah, that looks badass. Look how much activation he's getting in his back.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome.
My problem with machines, dude, is like I'm so damn tall, like nothing fucking fits me.
Mm.
The prime stuff works pretty well. Yeah, his back is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Look at that doing rear delts. And just everything's working. That's crazy, man. I think every training video he has up is up his back. I'd do the same thing, man, if I had a back like that. I was laughing because he's doing T-bar rows and everybody was critiquing his form in the comment section, and I'm just like, dude, whatever he's doing, I don't care what his form is. You got a back like that, you can train it however you want.
Arguably one of the best backs in the world, and you're gonna try to tell him what to do. Come on.
Oh, you know how it is with the dipshits in the comment section,
Drives
man.
me nuts, man.
It's arguably one of the best of all time if you want to talk like top 5, maybe rear double biceps, because his glutes get super peeled too.
Yeah. That's pretty cool that he came up from 212 as well. That's awesome.
Yeah, the amount of size he put on, man, Hadi looks ridiculous too, man.
Always. His conditioning to me is like unmatched.
Have you seen him in person?
I haven't.
Oh man, when I was at the Arnold, you know how like sometimes you'll see a guy walk out on stage and you're just like, all right, that one looks different than everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
That was when he walked out on stage. I'm like, oh shit.
Wow.
There's no way it's Samson's. Jesus Christ, how big is that dumbbell?
Yeah, he was in there
That's a big jump.
squatting
Is that like
like
200
6
pounds?
plates the other day. He does not back off doing heavy weight, even if he's a week out.
You said he's squatting 6 plates right now, 2 weeks out. That's
Yeah, I saw you had that video up.
Yeah, and he's rowing a 200-pound dumbbell. He's nothing.
That guy's a meatball.
Yeah, he is.
He's not showing anything though.
He's not. What?
He's
He's keeping everything covered up, which I don't blame him. But
yeah. Here you go.
No, I don't put enough thought into it. I wear what makes me comfortable at the time.
You can't fit anything else on that
No.
Smith machine.
Yeah.
Look at Hadi trying to spot one side. Like that's, what's that going to do?
Nothing.
Oh, there's someone over there.
Oh, okay. They're pulling
Yeah.
plates off.
Oh, he drops at it too. Nice.
Holy crap, man! That's crazy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, fuck all that. I'm not doing that 2 weeks out from a show.
Yeah, no.
I'm too old for that shit. I mean,
Just
he's
do-
got to be what, 40?
Yeah.
I just had my first post-show like insane leg day a few days ago. It was pretty great.
I had to take. Oh, here's some stuff of him showing. I don't know. This is like a montage.
Yeah, I watched a training video of those guys with Hadi, Hani, and Derek.
Look at this shit, man.
Jesus.
Like, you couldn't fit another ounce of muscle on that frame.
No.
I could just as easily pick him as I could have Derek for that top spot. It's just you got to pick one, right?
Yeah.
It could go other way.
Yeah,
Either
easily
way.
go the other way.
Yeah, I don't see. It's going to be him or Derek. I don't see anybody else sneaking in there unless they're both seriously off. And it seems like he's improved since the Samson. I love him. Like, he's like my favorite, I think, open physique.
Yeah, I love his look.
But he just never can seem to get his conditioning right. I don't know what it is. Although this show that he did this past week, he looked pretty good there. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. Is it just me, or does he look like he's got like a film of water over him?
I think he looks good, but when you put him next to Hadi, next to Derek, that conditioning does not look good then.
Yeah, his rear shots, yeah, for sure.
His back came up a whole lot, though. I mean, that's very impressive. The amount from what his back was 2 years ago to what it is now.
This is like serious nitpicking, man. Like, I would kill to be any of these guys.
Absolutely.
I hate to sound like we're splitting hairs here. These are the 5 best bodybuilders in the entire world.
Yeah.
So no disrespect to any of these guys, but
he just
I'm just some peon. It's just something always. I don't know. I have to wonder about that dude sometimes. Like, if he just doesn't have too many people in his ear.
Mm.
It seems like he's like, I know his wife is in there talking. I know she's like helps him peak, and like I know that was something. There was some controversy recently with Milos was complaining about talking shit about him on a podcast. It sort of alluded to that he just doesn't listen to him, and I think it's his wife.
Yeah.
And then he went over to the Middle East for a while, and then kind of bailed out on that. Although I don't know if I could do that forever, man. That's a tough. I mean, I don't know. It's like it's all in bodybuilding when you go over there to Kuwait, man.
Yeah, they lock you down, right?
Yep. Yeah, they control everything about your life, I think. Like, no women, no nothing. Video games and bodybuilding, and that's it. That's all you can have. I don't know. For some guys, that might be good.
Well, for everyone who went and actually did it, they become much better. Like Brandon Curry went from placing last to winning the Olympia.
Yeah, I mean, it's all you do 24/7 is think about bodybuilding. I mean, from what I understand, they make your food for you. They got doctors right there to handle everything for you. It's bodybuilding boot camp, basically.
Sounds amazing.
I know. I'd like to try it once.
I don't know if I could deal without women for that long.
I look at it as like, is the sacrifice going to be worth it? You know what I mean? And maybe in that case, it would be for everyone.
Yeah, I don't think Martin has anything up recently. I just really like his physique. He just has a really balanced physique. He's
I
still
think
pretty.
he's going to be the one that's going to shock everyone as far as placing goes. I think he will slide into probably that 6th spot. He pushed Nick really hard in New York. He got a couple first place votes, I think, at that show.
Yeah, I think Nick might have gotten a little bit of the home field advantage or whatever on that one. Yeah, there was some. The heck? Oh, it must be tan wearing off of him. I see.
What do you guys think about Brett Wilkin at the Legion show?
I've always liked his look. I like him a lot. Mm-hmm. It was good.
Yeah, I mean Brett's always impressive too. I mean, it's just so many good bodybuilders right now. I think this might be the best group of bodybuilders since like when Jay and Ronnie and all those guys were going at each other. It was there for a while. It was just like Phil, and that was it.
Yeah.
There was nobody else that could.
The fight for places 6 through 10 is going to be just as much as a scrap as it will be from 1 through 5 at this Olympia.
Yeah, there for a while, there was nobody that could compete with Phil. Yeah, I mean, man, Brett Wilkin. I mean, he's got a very he also has a very balanced physique.
Mm-hmm. What did he weigh for this? Do you know? Anybody?
I'm not sure what he weighed, but I think he, like I said, if you want to nitpick, I think he could. Overall, he just needs a little bit more size to really get up there in that top 8, top 6.
Yeah, he probably needs to be a little bit bigger.
I'm seeing like maybe some more delt, right? I feel like he definitely could use some bigger delt, especially with those quads.
His conditioning's really good.
Just put some oil in him. That'll fix it.
Blow him up.
That the thing I did with Larry Pollock talking about Nasser putting 100 cc's of oil on each side every week or 3 times a week, man.
Oh, dude,
that's real.
So painful.
What?
That's a true story.
That's supposedly a true story.
Wow.
Into his delts?
No, delts and arms. He would do 3 cc's in each head, and then it was 9. Oh God, it was crazy amount of. I don't know. He goes through the whole thing like Nasser's protocol.
Like, how did he use his arms?
What's that?
I said, how do you endure the pain from that?
Exactly. Yeah.
After a while, it's gotta. We were talking about it. Like it's gotta. Some of these oils, like I would think that not just the pain of it, but you got to process all that shit through your body. Like I know a lot of guys use SEO or use a little bit of it. And I've dabbled with it a little bit, but it's like at the end of prep, but like that much is insane, man. That is crazy.
Yeah.
I've tried it before.
Yeah, I mean I messed around with it a little bit. I've used Boston's 3cc stuff.
That's what I used.
Yeah, just in my biceps because they fucking flatten out at the end. But, I'm talking like a couple cc's, nothing crazy.
Yeah, I never got past 2 for sure, and I think that only lasted for about a week, and I was done.
Yeah. It doesn't last.
It just makes the lines go away whenever you're putting it in. To me, it did. I don't know if that's worth the trade-off.
Yeah, I don't even do any injections in my delts because I feel like delts are like one of my strong body parts, and I don't want to lose all the separation and detail I have in my delts. You could see it. There was a dude, I don't want to mention names, but there was a guy backstage at North Americans. I saw one of the big guys that he looked deformed, man, when I was looking at him. One of the, I think he was a super, but like it was just
I know
like
what you're talking about.
Yeah, like he had one delt that was bigger than the other, and his
There was a couple things, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. I was like, man, there's some wacky shit going on there, man. Got a little carried away with it.
Where do you guys pin at the most then? If you don't like in your delts, you don't do your delts, just your hips?
I do lats.
Yeah, I do lats too, but
I don't do lats. I've never tried them. I've been scared to try them. I in the off season I'll rotate delts, glutes, and quads. When I get close to the show, like the last month before the show, I'll stay away from my delts because I don't want anything to blur out my delts. Sometimes I'll do my triceps.
Pretty much anything over like a mil or a cc, like I go to my lats.
I guess it depends on how much you're injecting. I mean, there at the end of prep, it was a lot, but
yeah, exactly.
I try to stay out of my legs too.
Yeah, I don't do anything in my legs.
I don't have good, scar tissue builds up really easy in my legs.
Yeah, some people have bad luck with their legs. Like my quads seem to hold up really well for me. Like my glutes don't like shots very often.
Yeah.
I have issues. Like I get these blood pockets in I think my glutes are like super vascular. There's a lot of blood vessels in there, and I'll just get these blood pockets in my glutes sometimes.
I tried quad once when I was brand new, first starting, and that was not going to happen again. I thought it for like 4 days.
Yeah, I mean there are a lot of nerves in your quads, so you got to be careful, folks. If anybody's got questions, get some questions in. We'll do some questions here in a few minutes.
The guy that does my tissue work, he does a massage gun, has one of those really good massage guns, and he'll just go to town on any areas that are, get and repeat to inject through, and it hurts like hell, but it helps a whole lot to keep from scar tissue building up and all that.
I'm getting to a point, some spots, you're not even able to push a plunger. You know what I mean? I use a wall. Just give me that leverage one time. It's annoying. And then I got short arms, so I can only reach so many places.
My limiting factor is my shoulder mobility so fucked up. Like I can't reach around enough to do I'd have to have somebody do my lats for me, man. Like I can barely get my arms over my head. Like I can't get my arms over my head enough to do squats anymore. It's pretty bad.
What I'm hearing is you need bigger lats.
I need more lats. I just started back up. I just started my cycle back up last week. In the past week, I haven't run EQ in forever, so I'm going with EQ this time.
I saw your big meal, your 200 carber.
Yeah. My high carb day. It's funny because I still weigh pretty much the same as I did at my show.
I do. I have a similar strategy too on my training days. I keep fats pretty low and my carbs extremely high.
Yeah.
I digest so much better. I used to in the past just get bogged down thinking that, you can put oil on your meals, 30 mLs of oil, olive oil, whatever, but that shit just bogs your stomach down.
Yeah, I keep my fats. I mean, Justin Harris is my coach, and we do carb cycling, and Justin's diets are pretty high carb, low fat for the most part. I feel like if I keep my fats low, there's almost like no limit on the amount of carbs I can eat.
I'm the same way. On my off days, I'll lower my carbs, but I'm still getting 500-600 grams on my off days. But I'll take the fats up. I'll eat some sockeye salmon. I'll have some avocado.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Stuff like that on my off days. But it's usually training days. I'm getting the majority of the fats are just coming from whatever meat. Like I'll eat extra lean beef, like you at 96, some of that, and chicken has a little bit. Or if I'm eating like cod or something, I'll put like 5 mLs of olive oil on my rice. Just keep it, around 5 grams. But I'm doing 150, 200 carbs per meal.
Yeah, I'll do that on my. Justin sometimes on my high days, he'll just tell me to eat as many carbs as I can eat. I'm sitting here, I got a giant family-sized bag of Swedish fish. I'm just eating them all day long.
Meanwhile, I got Andrew saying, let's just back it up a little bit.
You like to eat, man. I mean, how much are you up from your show?
Oh, I'm good now. I had my week, I had my time, but I'm back to normal now. I'm at 270 now.
Okay. Yeah, I just have my appetite sucks. I have a hard time gaining weight. I'm that's why I'm trying equipoise this time. I haven't run equipoise in a long time. I usually just test and Primo kind of guy. But I'm trying equipoise. We'll see. The last time I ran equipoise, my hematocrit got too high, so we'll see. I thought about running some Anadrol too.
I didn't like Anadrol, man. I don't
It
know, it
will.
did too much for me.
The problem with Anadrol is I actually think I like Anavar better, to be honest with you. But
100%. Yeah.
I haven't ran Anabolics in a while.
you got to run it high. But like 50, 75 milligrams pre-workout, man, you get crazy pumps if you get real Anavar.
Yeah, that might be fun. Yeah, pre-workout. Yeah.
What do you? I mean, what do you like about Anavar, Brandon?
Same thing. Fullness and pump, strength. I like it all. And I also like it's not toxicity's low.
Yeah, that's the
It's
problem with.
very strong to be something that's not going to cause a lot of damage.
That's the problem I've had with Anadrol in the past. It's like you get a couple weeks into it, man, you just start feeling sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like the way I felt at all on it. Like, I didn't have energy either. I don't like it.
Yeah, well, it's because your red blood cell count goes through the fucking roof. Your blood turns into motor oil.
Exactly.
That's why.
I just got my bloods back, actually. They were not as bad as I expected.
I'm always like this. I'm like, all right, is this going to be the one where?
Well, this year was just a lot different for me than past years, so I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah, I was pretty good coming out of a contest prep. I was actually really surprised where I was at, man. It was the best my blood work has looked post show ever.
Oh wow, nice, dude.
This guy's saying donate, donate, donate. I don't. The problem with donating blood.
Oh yeah, I do it every what, 4 months.
Yeah, it's a good deed, but and of course I think it takes about 90 to 120 days for red blood cells to repopulate. So you got like that 90-day window where things come back down. The issue I run into, like I train a lot of people, so I look at a lot of blood panels. And I got guys that are donating, and it's something to keep an eye on, donating frequently. I've seen dudes that are anemic and have B12 deficiencies from donating too frequently.
Really?
Yeah, I've seen low ferritin. I've seen a lot of guys with low ferritin from donating too frequently. Of course, you can just fix that with taking some Anadrol and eating some steak.
Hey, Paul, your ad pops up on my IG every time I open it now, so that's good. Thought about checking out your stuff.
Yeah, I see you all over Facebook.
Yeah.
Just give me. I'll get you guys access if you want to check out the course.
Absolutely.
I'll hit you up after. I did that one with Kurt Havens. Kurt is one of the smartest guys in the world when it comes to anabolics. He's a pharmaceutical researcher. He's a biochemist, and he's working on his PhD in endocrinology, and he actually does the research studies and works in the pharmaceutical industry. He's like knows like how the drugs work, like detailed, just some stuff that we've assumed was correct. It's not. He's working on some studies now. Like one of the things he's working on is how test SIP might be garbage. Really, it doesn't peak like testananthate does. And I never really knew that the esters had that. I just thought they just didn't have that much of effect on how the drug worked, other than just length of time.
Yeah,
that's the thing that we were talking about. And then also like NPP doesn't seem to peak like Deca does, so it's another one.
I've never been a fan of NPP. Not really. I think it's starting out a prep, but I'm not really feel like I'd ever get much from it.
Well, that might be why you never get much from it if it doesn't peak like Deca.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've the last few off seasons I ran and I loved it.
Jesse said, "What ad?" I'll tell you the ad. It's for the science of anabolics and PEDs course. That's a shameless plug. There's a link in the video description below if you want to check it out.
It looked extremely detailed, though. That's why I want to check it out. It's
Yeah, man, we're putting more up. We have, what, 100 modules now and about 50 hours worth of videos.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, we go pretty deep into some stuff. And Kurt's super smart. Yeah, I kept my feelings were kind of hurt when he told me NPP was trash because that's what I always run.
Right? It does hurt, doesn't it?
I was saying for me.
The problem, I can't really run either an NPP or Deca anymore. I get really bad anxiety from it, and then my dick doesn't work.
So tell me about it.
I'm like you on that too, Paul. With off season, when I get to off season, when I get towards the end of the prep, it looks like, man, I cannot wait to stop taking all this shit. You know, and then you get in off season, and then like test Primo will be the most that I'll take. And then that'll go down to like a TRT. And then when I go back on, per se, it's just putting Primo back in. That's it.
It's funny. Every pro that you talk to that's been around for a while, it's usually test and Primo is the primary thing that they run.
Yeah. I feel great on it, man.
Yeah, I feel great on it. My blood work looks the best.
Mm-hmm.
I am going with EQ this time just because I'm trying to get my appetite up because I have a hard time eating. Eating sucks for me. Justin wants me to put on. He said that he would like me to be 260 on stage. So I am not there right now because I'm only 254. My walking around weight right now. I've been I got to get up to like 270, 280. I would think.
Trying 290 this year.
I woke up 286 this morning.
Oh, giddy up.
Yeah. Is your appetite still crazy, Tom? You still?
Yeah.
Yeah, mine is.
Yeah. Andrew says he wants to keep me hungry. I'm trying real hard.
My problem is when I'm hungry, I can't sleep.
Yeah.
I just can't do it, man. I can, even if I eat a huge meal before bed, if I'm dieting fairly good all through the day and food's kind of low and the need of it, I'm still can't sleep.
Yeah. I'm getting like, it's weird. Like if I don't eat like 2.5 hours, by the time I do eat, I want to eat a lot more. You know what I mean? Like I want to get that. Yeah. I'm ready.
Maybe I just need to do classic and say fuck it. But I like my ego. I'm like, nah, I'm a bodybuilder, man.
Yeah, people say they're like, yeah, what should I do? And it really matters what you want to do because if you don't want to do it, you're probably not going to give 100%.
Paul, your classic weight's probably what? Cut off?
242.
242?
Yeah.
That'd be easy. I don't know. That would be, you could make that. What was your stage weight your last show?
250.
250?
Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah.
But would you want to? That's the question.
I'm like in this weird in between spot where like 250 is not big enough for body building probably. I need to come up to probably 260, 270. I don't know. Like I'd be competing with the over 50 guys. So who the fuck knows, man? I don't know how big those guys are. Part of me is like, I just want to do the open and get the last place one time just to say I did it.
I feel
what I'm gonna do.
I feel like guys in the over 50 though, I think you would do pretty well, dude.
This was my last off season. This was the end of my last off season on the right.
That's great. That was the end of your off season?
Yeah.
Wow.
I remember that 2021 picture.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like 220 there. I was like 265 here, something like that.
So you only came down, 10 pounds from that through your whole prep?
Yeah, dude. Honestly, I started.
You started off super lean, though.
Yeah. Yeah, well, the prep was easy. I only had a 4-month off season, so like it was like, how fat are you going to get, dude? There was a limit on how fat you can get in 4 months, man. So
Well,
I'd have to try pretty hard.
I've gotten pretty fat in 4 months after a
Yeah,
show.
I can get pretty fat for
Yeah.
This was at the show. This was the super heavies. Me and the guy came in second. So I was a little flat, you could see on stage, but
Good look though, man. It's really good.
yeah, I got shredded.
Got a great midsection too.
Yeah, that's my superpower, my abs. It's it's funny, like some of it's just genetics, man, but I get guys asking me about training abs all the time, and I don't like this. Never made sense to me. I don't know how you guys train abs. Like I see guys doing crunches and leg raises all the time, and
good.
and I'm like, how the hell are you going to grow a muscle with crunches and leg raises? It's like trying to say you're going to get a big chest with doing push-ups. Like train them with some weight.
Right.
I use resistance. Like I'll either do cable crunches, or will do the we have this hammer strength machine, this weighted ab crunch machine I use. I'll throw as much weight on that damn thing as I can handle and do heavy crunches.
I'm paranoid about getting a thick waist doing that shit though. Like,
I don't know. I don't think that's what the thick waist, like the guys that get the blown out waist, I think that's more to do with food than anything.
yeah.
Visceral fat accumulation. I think Dom was it Dom that worked with Nick Walker to bring his waist down. I don't know. I saw a video about it, but I know Nick Walker, like they did some intermittent fasting, and I think he had some visceral fat accumulation, and they worked on bringing that down to get his waist tighter. And then some dudes just have blocky waists.
Yeah. I don't know. Andrew always told me that, and I don't know. It could be bro science, but it's in my head.
I mean, there's no right or wrong answer. Shit, at the end of the day, it's all fucking bro science, right?
Yes, that's true.
I would think like doing like super heavy squats and deads where you're hitting your obliques a lot more would account for a wider waist and train your abs.
Yeah.
Well, you'll see it in guys that there's a condition called diastasis. I don't know if you're familiar with diastasis, but it's where your abs start to pull apart, and you'll see it in it's like pregnant women have it, but bodybuilders get it. You see a lot of the big heavy bodybuilders.
Keon has that.
Yeah, Ronnie Coleman had it really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll show you some examples of it, but I think some of it. Well, hang on, let me pull this up. This is an anatomical thing of it, but you can see here, and you'll see the dudes that have where their abs pull apart, and it's from pressure in the belly. I think a lot of times it's from the food. Food does it. I think there's, Ronnie had it really bad.
But it has to be the training too.
Yeah, training. So like if you're doing heavy squats, like I think a lot of times, like this is something I've thought about too, is dudes wear bodybuilding belts that are really thin on the front, not powerlifting belts, and your stomach's going to be hanging over the top of it. So if you see, like here, like, God damn it, you can see where it pulls apart at the top. So I have to wonder if like all that pressure is building up around the top of your abs when you're wearing a thin bodybuilding belt, when it's thin on the front and wide on the back.
Yeah.
Doing heavy squats, deadlifts, shit like that. I don't know. I have to wonder. I mean, you can see it. A lot of dudes have it that have been lifting for a while.
Yeah. My core sucks, but it used to suck a lot more. And I do planks before I start my training, and then I pick a different ab exercise every training day.
A lot of it's posing too. Like I changed my posing. Like I used to not crunch down on my abs, but I have a really long torso. So I think it makes me look goofy if I try to do a vacuum or keep my waist in tight. So I started crunching down on my abs, changed my posing on the front to show the abs off a little bit more and make my waist look a little shorter so I look more proportioned. I think I heard Nick talking about him. He did that too.
I was super insecure, so like I would want to suck in when I was doing an ab and thigh, where it looks way better when I learned to push my abs against that wall. Yeah. It looks so much better when I just kind of like did it the right way instead of trying to hide it.
Yeah. All right. Anybody got questions? I don't see any questions rolling in. Let me see if we had any. Started one. Somebody asked, starting my bulk cycle here soon and cannot for the life of me decide between NPP or Deca. Well, we just talked about that.
Both.
I mean,
Well, I mean, if it
according,
helps you. So MPP has been my go-to the past few years, but I kind of, since it's been so long, I want to try Deca this year. Switch it up. And from what you just told me, I kind of want to try it anyway.
well, here's the advantage. What Kurt was telling me is that Deca has a higher peak. MPP is more level with how it works based on the ester. So if you have trouble with side effects, this is just my speculations. It's talking about bro science, but I'm just speculating here. I don't seem to get all the side effects from MPP that I do from Deca, but Deca does seem to be stronger. So
I agree.
That may, and it's just anecdote, but that may be the difference between the two. A lot of people don't like Nandrolone, Deca, or NPP, but I feel like nothing makes me grow more than they do.
Yeah, I agree.
I get big, full, round when I run them. My blood
it's
pressure
strong,
gets nice and high.
Plus the joints, man, your knees and the elbows and stuff just feel so good.
I
It's
like
amazing.
it. Like my favorite cycle in the past has been test Primo and just a dabble of Deca or NPP. And I'm talking about like 200-300 milligrams.
It's adorable.
Yeah, just a little sprinkle. Just a little sprinkle.
You guys notice any depression from it or no?
I get anxiety. I don't get depression.
I think I'm always depressed, so it's hard to tell.
No, I'm generally a happy guy. But I already have a little bit of social anxiety, but I definitely like get in my, I don't want to be around anybody mode. Like, don't talk to me. Don't look at me. Like, I get like very anxious being around people. And it makes it worse. And then of course the PP not working, that's a problem. But
I'm good until like prep and post contest. That's when like I have the dick issues and everything else, but that's when I notice it the most. Off season, I'm pretty fine with everything.
There's nothing that a little Viagra can't fix.
That where you keep that test to Deca ratio in a proper place, then you really don't have any side effect. Or I never did.
Yeah, that's part of it too. And one of the things like a lot of people don't know about Deca Nandrolone is that it upregulates aromatase expression. So you are going to get more estrogen conversion from your testosterone when you take it. So a lot of times when, at least what I've seen when guys end up having limp dicks, the issue is that is a red flag that your estrogen is too high. Almost always. Usually like if you're having erectile dysfunction and anxiety issues, it's usually estrogen's too high, water retention, and then usually your sex drive's through the roof, but you can't get it up. That's
pretty much what I'm dealing with right now. My estradiol is still high.
Yeah, and then it's the exact opposite when you're low. You have no sex drive, but your winky works.
Well, from past experience, when like many years ago, under the guidance of no one, I would run Tren by itself, and then that's when like I had sex drive, but my shit would not work for the life of me, and nothing would happen.
Well, I mean that could be a multitude of things. It could be progesterone. It could be prolactin. It could be you have no DHT. There's no test in there. I mean,
right.
Tren does some weird shit.
Yeah.
And some guys take Tren and want to date trannies. Heard that happening too. I just got my video demonetized. Can't say that anymore. Oh well.
I've never had that from Tren though. It's like people, staring at every woman that walks through and just look, thinking of things they want to do that they would never do if they weren't taking it, like looking at grandmas and stuff like that. I've never had that far-fetched. I don't know if they're exaggerating or what.
I don't know. For me, it's the plus three, like a 5 turns into an 8 for me.
Yeah,
I'm like, yeah,
that's just hormones raging.
she looks
I
all
don't think
right.
any of those issues. Well, I mean, I only run trend. Maybe I don't even really run trend during prep anyway. So maybe that's why I
I
don't
didn't
notice
this
it.
year. I started it. I got about 4 days into it. I couldn't fucking sleep. I'm like, nope, not doing it.
Yeah.
I'll do it in like 6 weeks at the end, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Tren Ace.
Yeah. Waking up and sweat every morning.
Yeah, somebody was bringing up the I thought prolactin. Yeah, here's the thing with prolactin. Like everybody thinks prolactin's the issue with Deca and Tren. I look at hundreds of blood panels. I'm talking to hundreds, doing consults and coaching people annually, and I have like maybe like 2 or 3 times a year I'll see somebody with high prolactin. Like it almost never happens. Like guys take Caber and shit like that all the time, and it's like it's generally unnecessary.
Caber's like a Cialis in its own too, though.
Yeah, you got to be careful with it though, because it's a dopamine agonist. You can there's this thing called dopamine agonist withdrawal syndrome where you can permanently screw up how your body, how dopamine works in your body with taking Caber, and you can come off of it and make yourself a manic depressive.
Wow.
Yeah, it's one of the risks of running Caber. So I like slippery slope, man. I wouldn't. I would be really, really careful with Caber.
I take it like I had blood work one time. My prolactin was really high, and I'd had a prescription for it, and I'd taken probably like I think a half a meg a week
Yeah,
for
that's
an
nothing.
extended time. I know, and then I'd quit taking it and didn't know it. But I mean, I've still got the bottle sitting right here.
Yeah, a lot of times P5P can bring it down. Just it's a vitamin B6. A lot of times that alone can fix it. And a lot of times when people like, if your prolactin is elevated all the time, it could be a pituitary tumor. So I've seen that a couple times with people. They're benign. They're generally not life threatening, but they seem to be common in men, more common than they know. You'll know if your prolactin is high. You'll be squeezing milk out of your nipples.
Jesus.
Hey, I'm gonna throw my food in the microwave real quick. Okay.
Yeah, no problem.
Early on, AIs would kill me. That really messed me up too, with just like no estrogen as well. 'Cause when that's
Yeah, I mean
all
it's a fine
gone,
line to walk with estrogen. You don't want to bury it.
yeah.
You want to keep it right in line. So there's also some health benefits from estrogen too. It is kidney protective, within range,
Yeah.
the top end of the range, kidney protective, neuroprotective, cardiovascular protective. But like there's this weird thing now where people think running it super high is good for you, but it is not. You want to keep it in range. You don't want to have it buried year round. Like going into a show, that's one thing.
Yeah.
Oh man, Brandon, you don't know the rule with eating on YouTube with the bodybuilding audience. They get butthurt when you eat.
Do they?
Oh my god, man! People get rage on me when I eat when I'm on the comment section. We'll see if anybody talks about you eating on.
I see
on
people eating all the time on other podcasts I watch. That's what I thought.
I don't mind if I see it. I mind if I hear it.
Yeah.
I'm like, bros, bodybuilders are eating every 2 or 3 hours. It's like somebody's the statistics. If we bear out, if there's enough people, somebody's going to be eating while we're on. Somebody's asking, what do you think is a good range for estradiol? It depends. Like, you want to be at the top end of the reference range probably for health. The only time you really want to bury it is at the end of contest prep when you're trying to get hard and dry. It's you just got to be careful with it. You don't want to have extended periods where it's in single digits. You're going to end up with an LDL of like 5 or HDL of like 5. I've seen that coming out of prep before.
Yeah. That's been an issue for me the past couple of years, that low HDL.
What is this guy? What is he saying? Hey, are any of you guys? Oh, okay, it's a joke. I get Mark. Mark the last time asked if we were really pros. I got your joke.
Thailand guy.
Yeah, Thailand guy. Reno Mesa, for anything above 60 E2, I start turning into a cheese pizza. Yeah, that's another problem too, is acne. If you're prone to acne and your estrogen gets too high, estrogen will cause increased sebum production, so your skin gets a lot more oily. Let's see. I've heard women range from 30 all the way up to 300. Yeah, it depends on the phase of the month they're in. Like, I think when they're ovulating, it's like 160 up to 300, somewhere around there. So, like, when you have a 160 estradiol, your estrogen's the same as an ovulating woman. So,
which is why you're a little bitch.
Yeah. So when you're crying because your girlfriend said something wrong to you, that's why. Kevin was asking for you guys, how often do you inject NPP? I do every other day.
Same or every day?
No, I do twice a week.
Twice a week, you rebel.
Yeah.
Lazy. That's what it is.
That's it. It's because I won't remember.
Lazy. I got like that after my show. I was just like, people were like, I took off or whatever, and I'm like, or like, wow, I was running so low doses, and I'm like, hey, you know what it was? I was just like, I sit here and think, I'm like, damn, when was the last time I took a shot? I'm like, counting the days. I'm like, fuck, it's been like 2 weeks since I took one.
Paul, are you big on the micro dosing or no?
I like doing daily dosing. I think it's, you get more stable blood levels. You don't get as much estrogen conversion. On contest prep, when I'm locked in, yeah, I'm doing daily dosing of everything.
Contest prep in the same way. It's daily. I remember like when you're first starting off and you miss one, it's like, oh man, you think like your entire season is fucked. And now I'm like, oh shit, it's been 3 days.
Dude, you talk to these old guys, it's hilarious. Like the guys from like back in the 80s and 90s, like it was so hard to get gear back then. They would just take whatever. Like I remember, I forget who it was I was talking to. It was an old pro, and he said he'd have one of those big 50cc bottles, and he would just mix everything in it, swirled up, and just whenever he got something. Because I remember, like, I'm older than you guys, but I remember in the 90s, man, it was like super hard to get shit. Like you couldn't. This is whatever you could fucking find.
Yeah. When I was in Germany, it was like, I think it was like €40, which is not a lot of money. The guy who kind of got me into bodybuilding took me to this German gym. We went into the back office. Everything's chill. Like, it's a nice office, sit on the couch. Just gives me a brown paper bag filled with like vials. It was like good for the year for €40. Good to go. It was a lot different.
Dorian did that with the Phenoject bottle. Mark says.
Paul, probably in the 90s, there was no, like I said, no internet. So.
Oh no! I mean, there was no internet. There was no information. Dan Duchesne had, it was the book. Was it the Underground Steroid Handbook? I remember seeing it in the back of, I think it was Muscle Mag, and I ordered it, and I felt like I was doing something naughty. And it came like in a brown paper envelope, and I was like looking around like nobody's gonna see me opening this. And like half the information in there was wrong. Dan Duchesne was ahead of his time, though. There's a lot of stuff he was right about. He was the guy who brought clenbuterol to bodybuilding, and some of the other stuff. It suggested people use AIs and things like that nobody was doing before.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. So he was a little crazy, but yeah, he was the first guy that talked about a lot of stuff. But it was like back in I love talking to the old guys. Like back in the 80s, like nobody took tests back then. It was like, because there were no AIs. You didn't have any way to control estrogen.
Yeah.
So guys would just do like Deca only cycles, or they would take, in contest prep, they would just do Primo and Winnie, stuff like that. Or
yeah.
man, you probably felt like shit just taking Primo and winning. You'd have no estrogen, no DHT.
Yeah.
Joints be all dried up.
Everything's sore.
I remember doing Deca only cycles back in the early 2000s. And I wonder why my dick didn't work.
That was my first. It was my first ever was testing Deca.
Mark says, I saw this as I trained at Temple Gym. He had five. He had parental 5 D-ball tabs, Testex, and Anadrol by Syntax. Great days.
Send it.
Yeah, I heard Dorian talking about, he's been opening up more about what he was doing recently. And he sounded like Test, Primo, and Anadrol is what he would run his off seasons, or D-ball sometimes. Once again, it was just like whatever you could get your hands on back then.
Yeah.
If he's telling the truth, who knows? I interviewed his old training partner. We went through and detailed like all their training, like how they trained and stuff. It was a really awesome interview talking to the guy. He got into detail about how Dorian trained. It was a little bit different, pretty close, a little bit different than what was in his book, but pretty close. He was saying that Dorian would do back offsets sometimes. Like there was one year where he didn't do any back offsets, so this whole thing about him just doing one set was only like later on in his career. Earlier on he would do a top and a back offset, and a couple warm up sets.
I met him.
He seems like a super chill guy. I'd love to go hang out with him in Spain and smoke some weed.
I met him. That's the picture. Where is it? That picture right there is signed by him when I met him in Germany at the FIBO Expo they had.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was back in probably 2004, 2005. Dennis James was there. Biggest fucking dude ever. Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, Dennis was huge back then.
Dude, I had a picture next to him. I look like a child.
I'm trying to think the biggest guy I've ever seen in person. Probably Ronnie. Ronnie's the biggest guy I've ever seen in person. I don't know, man. When I saw Samson earlier, it was last year. I saw him
He's big.
when he was 330.
Yeah.
Dude's fucking big, and he's like my height.
Yeah, I met Sergio a couple years ago at Nationals in Orlando. That's the biggest dude I've met.
They say he's massive in person, Sergio.
Sergio's fucking big.
Yeah, Dorian tore all of his stuff for one straw and no test. I mean, that's possible. I mean, you got to be careful when you're running Winnie at the end. I feel like a porcelain doll when I'm running Winnie. Mark Bates said, I saw Dennis trained on Pattaya Beach when I saw him every day, and he looked like a leather sofa.
That's gonna get how thick he was.
Dennis still looks good. He's in his mid-50s. Yeah, Dorian said he would drop all aromatizing compounds. It's because there was no AIs back then. You didn't have any other choice.
Yeah.
AIs, you had Novadex, but Arimidex wasn't around until the late 90s, early 2000s, I think is when it was first on the market. I never heard of anybody in bodybuilding using an AI until the early 2000s.
Wow, I know, was that recent?
Yeah. It was a recent thing. All right, folks. I guess we don't have any other questions. We'll probably wrap this one up. I need to eat. You're making me hungry, Brandon.
Yeah, I'm ready to go too.
All right, folks. We appreciate you watching. Take care. We'll see you on the next episode.